you to bounce stuff off of me, or I'll interject and ask some questions. But what's going on in the world today, guys? We should be live in Top Agent Experts, and we have Benaisha here. What's up, Benaisha?
Hey guys.
Do you want to do you want to say how long you've been a Top Agent Expert? Man, since the beginning, right? 5 years almost.
Yeah, I've actually been with EXP since 2018. So it's been a long time.
Man, that's yeah. You're like one of the originals, and yeah. And, and so hopefully we're live, Jay Z. We're live, going live with the webinar. Benaisha, I will say a lot of people catch the replay on this. And
Mhm.
so I don't know how many people. Yeah, there you go. You figured it out. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Uh, As Jay Z kind of funnels people in, I'll help monitor the questions and stuff like that. But let's just go ahead and get right after it. I want to be respectful of your time. I know we guys, like, we just went live right when her and I were talking. So we're getting caught up on some icebreaker stuff, some small talk. But it's been a while since I've seen you. I know that you actually got to have dinner with me. I think last year we had a group we put together, and I gave you the wrong address where we originally was going to go, and then the plans changed. So I apologize about that. I was introduced to you through Tierney and Walsh, right?
Yep.
And so I think you're a second level partnership, and so we've all grown fast, and we've all taken different journeys in within this platform of where we're all building our business. And you worked within a team environment when I first met you, but then it's like you're like a secret, like, sleeping giant when it comes to you don't making a lot of noise, you don't talk a lot.
Yep.
You do, you are getting to talk a lot now. I see you all over the place on social media, and congratulations with your results and everything you have going on. But that kind of gets back to you're all about that action, right? So talk less, do more. And then you went on to partner with someone, build a traditional team, a modern team, which we understand to be the network driving the revenue share. And then you're over here printing money too, I heard. So, so you got into the lending side, and I love that. And I think that is probably doing you really well right now in terms of your margins and
Yep.
offsetting some type of cost. And hopefully you can share the importance of maybe a little bit of the Rockefeller habits. We're owning some of that stuff. And I know you're very passionate about why you're doing it and everything that you're trying to stand for and empower. Not trying, you absolutely are doing it without a doubt. And so, Venetia, I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to grab a pen and a piece of paper, and I'm going to go sit down. But I don't know how many time icon agent you are, or if you're running them through your Lori's name. What up, Lori? And but it's like this is all about production, not agent attraction, though. This is where hey, Benaisha wanted it to say 1%, guys. Like everybody else, like Benaisha, you are a 1%er. So she even had to show up with the template of that. The 2% really came from Brent Go runs a top 1% mastermind, and his group that you're tied back to, I'm tied back to. And then to really kind of give them icon agents or people a voice that they are what Top Agent Experts is, but you don't see them post like you're running your own stuff. You're like an Instagram star, right? It's like you ain't got time for a Facebook group. What is that? Okay. But it's a platform, not because it's saying like 2% you're less than anything. It's just really the top percent, 2% of Top Agent Experts. I really wanted to make it even 3%. Like I know you would have thought this was a less of a platform if it was 3%, because I really wanted to be able to give people a voice during a production mastermind, because everybody has their one thing. And so what makes Benaisha like great? I know you're great at listening. I know you're great at observing. And I'm interested in the art of getting the deal done, or like what makes you and Lori, what makes you guys special? What are you guys doing over there?
Yeah. So just a little bit about myself. And I can't see anybody, so I can't tell who I'm talking to or if anybody's here. But my name is Benaisha Watson, and I am the co-owner of the Bailey Watson Real Estate Group. So Lori Bailey is my business partner. We formed the Bailey Watson Real Estate Group back in 2018. So we used our last names, Bailey. My last name is Watson. And since then, we have grown expeditiously in the space of sales. And we do both commercial and residential in-house. We have agents across the United States. So we've grown our team to a very large number. We have over 200 agents that are within our network. And so we have been very high producing. We've gotten some numbers that were astronomical. During COVID, we actually hit over 99 million in transactions. And then
99 what?
99 million. Yep.
Man, almost to that Billy.
Yep. And
Congratulations.
then 2021, coming out of COVID, we were extremely high as well. 2022, it just keeps going up. And last year, calculated the numbers in the 200 million. So
Just 200 million. Congratulations. But guys, before she gets too far down this, like just blowing you up with results, these are phenomenal, by the way. Average sales price is what, though, real quick?
average sales price, it depends. It could be right now, I grab it. My space is in the millions. So my clientele typically is in the million plus,
Mhm.
7 million, 10 million, 20 million. Those are the properties that I'm personally selling, but the average agent is between three to 700.
And I know what market you're in, but what market are you in?
I'm personally in the Dallas, Texas market. So I do all of Texas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, but I physically am in Dallas, but the agents are all over the board. We're all over from New York to LA.
So you would say you're aiming and gunning towards the luxury space. Would that be fair?
No, because I hate to leave anybody else. So when I started at 60,000. I went to 80,000, 100,000, 120, 200. I didn't just shoot up to the multi million
Saying
dollar.
what that's what you're going for now. I know that you were hustling back then, but
Yeah.
like right now, is that you're trying to elevate the network, elevate the message, the brand promise, the customer experience, maybe? Well,
Yeah, I help everybody. I don't turn down anything. I come from humble beginnings. So if someone's like, "Hey, I have 120, I'll still help them. But yeah, I guess I am in the
I,
luxury category for
you,
sure.
yeah, and it's amazing how quickly somebody can build a network and a book of business as quick as they did by just doing and running a good business, right?
Yeah,
So it's like you were
absolutely.
hammering internet leads and all that stuff, and I'm sure you don't do as much as that anymore. And I'm sure you train on it. And you have buyer agents and the way you guys are building out. But what I was wanting to get clear on though, guys, is Bailey has nothing to do with me. So the Bailey Watson Real Estate Group has nothing to do with Adam Bailey Group in that manner, and it has everything to do with Lori Bailey.
Yes. Lori
Okay.
Bailey is my partner. She is another African American female. And we just had a commonality from the beginning. It's actually funny because we met and it didn't have anything to do with real estate. And now we partnered up and it's been up ever since. We've been together for a long time. We don't argue, we don't fight. We have a great business relationship. It is amazing.
So you actually not just a partnership, guys, in terms of we'll say financial alignment through the revenue share. You're saying that you actually own a traditional team with a P&L with Lori. And
Absolutely. Yes.
and if you guys don't know Lori, I would go follow her as well. She's yeah, I tend to think Benaisha is quiet in person, but loud on social media. And Lori's even quieter. And if you guys even know Lori or you guys get to follow her, go follow Sam Bailey too, her husband. I think he's a pastor, but he's always
Yeah.
producing good content. I find myself ripping off and duplicating it some days. Go follow him too. Just some amazing people. But what's the makeup of the team look like? Maybe I'll get to that. And then the production that you were rattling off, how much it ties back into that, and how can we print some dollar bills around here?
Yeah. So the team is comprised of all groups, all colors, creeds, fashion. We have everybody. We have Spanish speakers. We have everything on the team. We want it to be a diverse group and make sure that we're catering towards the masses, as much people as we can. So we do have commercial, strictly commercial agents. We do have strictly residential agents, and then we have people who do both. And so, and the diversity, again, it goes from residential rentals to apartment groups to people who are in the luxury space. So we have a big realm and plethora of agents who perform in their own space. And I like people to find their niche. I don't want to force anybody to do something that they don't feel comfortable doing until they're ready. So that's how we have built the team and the group. We are a family network. So people who come on the team, generally they don't leave. So we've had agents on the team from 2018 that are still with the team. So we don't have a high turnover. And those who leave, traditionally, they don't stay in real estate anyway. But we rarely lose people.
I know. Yeah, I love the nutrition part to that and the environment and the culture that you guys were seeking. That's what I always tell people when it's you outgrow an opportunity, it's then your turn to go and create everything that you say you guys wish that you could be a part of. And I think you and Lori are a good example of that.
Yep.
And then the model also gives some context to the people listening to this without giving too much away. It's just when teams and people grow so fast, and the team could outgrow someone or of certain positions, or the agents could be in that same manner. So I watched all that unfold. And this was in the early stages of testing. Can the traditional agent swing out into the partnership network and then without still, as long as the ethics and everything, the respect and everything's there, can it pride and ego subside? And then can that alignment really happen? And it got tested early on with a handful of people. And you guys breaking off and creating a wonderful business, and you guys are creating a beautiful network, traditional team as well. But it's also stretched you guys up to grow into generals and leaders now under Tierney. You know what I mean? She just don't have agents; she has generals. She
Yeah.
has respectful. I know you like that black excellence, right? It's like you're trying to empower the women, the black. I know you're like we got all colors and creed on our team, but it's like if you follow Benaisha's message, you know who you're trying to help.
Yeah.
I follow it, and so it's no secret. And then to see you to develop into that general for Tierney, and then you are developing you and Lori, your generals and leaders. It's having you're having to grow into a different person, and I love seeing it. And then so you're not just getting so much transactional based on your day to day thinking. You start to think, how can I own a bank?
Yeah.
Like, how did all that come about? And or yes, so you're lending yourself your own money. I'm assuming you're your own co-marketing person, all that stuff. Like, how do you kind of grow so fast from that team? How you and I met to one of the first early traditional agents to a partnership that worked, and congratulations. But when do you know it's the right move? And then when do you know to deviate from the real estate specifics and get into other, we'll just say legs of the business like real estate title or any of the ancillary services?
Yeah. So the way that I got started is kept selling so many houses, so many houses. I was meeting so many people that I actually start building houses because I figured, God, what can I do that's going to outlive me? I can't take the money with me. I can't take the information with me. So I want to do something that's going to provide form of generational wealth for my family. And so I started building luxury houses all over Dallas, Texas. They were custom homes. They started at 400,000 and now I'm building in the multi-millions. I have a 97 home site that I'm building 119 acres. But
Did you build your house that you live in?
I didn't build this one. I found one that had everything that I
I
needed.
love that
And
house.
the goal is to gut it though. And so I bought it because I like the land. And but you have to be a visionary to have that kind of instinct when you're buying property. And we have that as agents. And it actually transformed into me building houses and being able to produce a product for people who were going to buy my vision. And so once I sold all those houses, I took $1 million cash, start buying a bunch of land, built those houses, put my own sign in the yard and 10x my profit. And COVID hit. After COVID hit, everybody's like, okay, what's going to happen? What is the real estate market doing? Clearly, it continued to boom. And once the restrictions lifted in Texas, which is where I'm at, we were able to start moving around a little bit sooner than most traditional states were during COVID. And so I hopped on an app called Clubhouse during COVID, and I started meeting other like-minded people that were in their spaces doing what they're doing in their cities and states, right? So once the restrictions really start lifting for most people, we decided, okay, we're going to start doing conferences. So it all started with that. I started speaking at different engagements, and then more people started hearing me speak. It started growing legs. And I actually did a conference in another state outside of Dallas. And I ran into a guy who asked me would I like an opportunity to own a bank after I told my story of how I sell real estate, how I have a company, how I build houses, et cetera. And that's how I ended up falling into the space of banking. I didn't have a degree in banking. I have 2 masters. I have a law degree, and none of it has anything to do with financing. And at that point, when he planted the seed in me and said, "Would you like an opportunity to own a bank?" I'm like, "No, I'm not interested." He said, "Doctors don't own the clinics that they work in." And I said, "You are absolutely right, because I service a lot of doctors. I have a lot of clients who are physicians, and they don't own the clinics." And I said, "Tell me more." And he said, "You can operate and own a bank. You don't have to do the work. You can hire people." And I said, "Well, I already did that with the Bailey Watson Real Estate Group. I can do it again." And from that point, I found my employees. Now I have over 100 employees. I'm an in-house direct lending, federally chartered bank. I service every single state in the United States, and I go up to 650 million for commercial and residential. So as a Black woman sitting in this space, it doesn't exist. I don't exist. I'm one of the first to ever do this. I'm the sole owner of my bank, so I'm the first to do that. And I'm also Afro-Latina, so I'm cultured. But the point is that the reason why I started the bank is because I knew that if I could fit in the space, I can give access to capital to minorities and the people who look like me, who are in a disparity, who are underserved. 50% of minority applications are not approved. The reason why they're not approved is because they either don't know what they're doing, they don't have enough information on how to get successfully approved for capital, and a lot of it is just disparity and discrimination. And and then when they do apply and they do get approved, the discrepancy in the numbers are different. The interest rates are going to look different. Some of the things are different. The service is different. So I really wanted to be a safe space, and I've done that. It's been over 3 years now. I do sit on the national board of directors for the National Mortgage Alliance, and I'm the only Black female that sits in this position. So now I am an actual voice and an advocate for the African American community specifically. So when you hear me talk African American, it's because that's a part of my job. My job is to encourage African American people and minorities to own homes, to not be scared, to get into this space, to know what your value is, to have a safe place to do business where you don't feel like, it's being discriminatory. There's no form or fashion that you can do. I can do business with you and be discriminatory against you. I'm here to help you. So that's really what I'm doing right now. And it's actually turning a lot of profit. It's helping a lot of people successfully get into homes, both commercial businesses and residential investment properties, et cetera. Maybe their primary residence. It could be their multifamily purchase. It could be building a new development. I do so many things, but first quarter of 2023, I funded 700 million. And second quarter I already hit over a billion. So we've already done a billion in the first 2 quarters of 2023 in funding. And I want to continue on to do more and more billions for as many people as I can. But the brokerage is still operating. The company, Bailey Watson Real Estate Group team, is still operating. And we're just out here just putting in the work. I'm just putting in the
How
grind.
many agents are in there?
On the bank side,
No, the Watson Group, Bailey.
right now we have over 250 in the network.
Congratulations. Good job. How many on the traditional team? Two. Man, that's good. You're getting up there.
Yeah, it's good. Um, and
And
on the
five.
you said on the banking side?
Yeah, on the traditional side, generating leads for, they're working back with your bank to get them pre-approved, all that stuff. Who's the agents delivering the traditional team message? How many of them?
Right now, we have probably about 100, a little bit over 100.
Man, that's crazy. And you're generating the
Mhm.
leads for them. Obviously, you're controlling the pre-approval process stuff that I taught you back in the days. You didn't think all this stuff would come in handy, did you? Ever? That you picked up, right? It's like the amount of stories of just the people that blew up with us is crazy because Tony Robbins says it best. We really underestimate what we can do in 1 year. Like,
Yeah.
like we really do. And, but we also overestimate the control we have over procrastination. And it's like the people that really run inside this group, there's a whole slew of names, and you're definitely one of them. if I was sitting there when I left Dallas that last time, you were still on the traditional team and we had that lunch on that long bench. Remember, I think Nick
Mhm.
Good, a few other people came over. I did a podcast, I think that the day earlier or earlier that day, I would have never walked away and said you were going to go do all this stuff. That it really is a blessing. And it's like you really changed your life, but not just your life, you changed a lot of people's life around you. And that is amazing to see all that just grow from one little seed from making some calls to internet leads. But I
Yeah.
do want to take a step back a little bit with this because you guys are selling a lot of real estate. You guys are moving production. You're owning the bank. You're printing money. You're empowering. You have a majority, a minority voice right now, and you're starting to duplicate yourself. But I want to know, how did you get started? I know you were successful in the corporate world before you got in real estate. You're a secret agent type of person, but it's like you're tight-lipped about like what you're doing before, but your background experience, your learning curve's obviously quick. But where did you get that money to start going building houses? You obviously wasn't a builder. You had to get some relationships, some partnership deals done. What was your core capital or run rate that you had right there that it could have failed or it could have got you to the next project? How much was that?
Sure. So initially, I started out when I was 19, I bought my first house.
Yeah.
Okay. So I invested in real estate very early. How did I get that money? When I was 15, I got discovered by The Gap, the clothing line. I was scouted by a model scout, and he selected me. I signed up immediately, and I did so much TV, movies, commercials. I'm from Los Angeles originally, so I was embedded into the entertainment business at a young age. And so starting from modeling, I hit it big on a lot of commercials. I did a Coca-Cola commercial. It paid me residual income for over 20 years. So I was able to buy my first house at the age of 19 just based on the income that I made from
What did you say that during a Coca-Cola commercial to get paid for 20 years? Like, what was your one line? I wanna see this commercial.
I forgot all that stuff. That's so far behind me, but
I
I've done
know,
many
but
more TV shows and
so
commercials.
this kinda got you in the game when you built
Yep.
up a nice little, so you didn't use anyone else's money.
No,
You didn't have to rehab or refinance back out of a bunch of deals.
no,
It's like you
no.
bootstrap this from on your own.
On my own. And then fast forward, by the time I was 26, I owned over 20 properties. I was a landlord and didn't realize that I was actually an investor. I didn't know it was a name for it. I had no guidance. I had no mentorship. I didn't have anyone in my family telling me to own real estate. I just was doing things because I wanted to and I didn't want to rent. And so my job that I had picked up, a corporate job, it would transfer me across the United States. And when I would move, I would buy a condo here, a something there, townhouse here, there, a big house here. And I just accumulated properties. And so fast forward, still
20 of
working
them by the age of 25, you said?
26.
20 by the age of 26. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then fast forward, working corporate America, I was being the best I can be in my corporate job, signing up for everything that they offered, staying late, coming in early, training employees, checking all the boxes 48 times. And when it came down to promoting, I hit a glass ceiling. It just was like I wasn't going anywhere. I had just got transferred to Dallas. I was only supposed to be here for 12 months. I was here for over 2 years. And I just said, you know what, God, this is not normal for me to be in one position for 2 years. What is it that you're trying to tell me? Is it something that you're trying to show me about Dallas? Because I felt like I was being like kept here. I was just being stuck. And that had never ever happened in my corporate career. And so I just internally started just saying, you know what, God, instead of me being down on myself, let me ask you what it is that you're trying to show me. I need to receive the message. And I just started praying and just digging deeper and meditating. And God finally spoke to me after 8 months. I don't know if anyone on this call has ever heard or received this, but I ran across a lot of people who have had the same story. But God spoke to me and he said, get a real estate license. Now I'm working corporate America. I'm making $300,000 a year. I am amazing in my job. I can just sit in the office and look out a window and collect this money. I don't need to sell real estate. I don't want to sell real estate. But God said, get a real estate license. So I opened my laptop. I ordered the books. I went to a school called Kaplan University because it allowed me to go online, and the books came within 24 hours. I literally took those books to Paris, France, because I had a job assignment out there for 4 months. And when I studied my test while everyone was at the Champs-Élysées and walking around the Louvre and seeing the sights, I was in my room studying. And when my assignment was over after 4 months, I came back to Texas and I went to a city called Carrollton, Texas. I had never been there and I took the test and I passed it that day. And from that point, I was in the MLS class to get my little key fob, and my phone rang in the MLS class. And when I answered the phone, it was a lady on the phone. I had never spoken to her. I don't know how she got my number. And she said she wanted to see a house in Fort Worth. And from that point, my career and my life completely changed. And so it just went up
How many years you had your license now?
2015. So it's
Yeah,
going on 10 years.
I like it. Yeah,
Is it
man.
10 years now? It might be, what is it, 2015 minus
Yeah.
2023,
So
8 years.
how long has Lori been licensed? 5, 6?
Yeah, she's less than me, so she's probably about 5 years.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's about right. I like it. That's how my story goes. It's just I capitalized on every little opportunity that came my way. I figured out how to max it out, whether it was taprooting through the relationships or creatively getting my money to work for it itself. So I really didn't have to use other people's money. I've had to rebuild a couple companies from shoestrings and but we always get the people with us, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I notice about you. It's like you're talking about your retention, like really good. And people are just staying for 5 years. It's great. And they're going to develop into more. They're going to want to contribute more because this is about contributing and serving others for sure. Because like once you get into these leadership roles and it starts growing, like much is given, but much is expected. And so with you and Lori, like delivering on that, what was it, what you guys thought it would be as a team leader? How has Lori maybe embraced it? What are some challenges you and her faced along the way just to walk away from a team and then just restart your own stuff? And then obviously you're in a killer network, but you guys had to do the heavy lifting. You had to do your own push-ups, right?
Yeah, people buy you before they buy what you're selling, and that's just the bottom line. So if people buy you, if they love you, if they care about you, if what you're saying resonates with them, they're gonna wanna know more. And that's really what sales is. It's not about
How do you get your agents to do that day in and day out? I know when I ran a top 10 brokerage, it was like everything was an event almost. You know what I mean? It was like a show, like show me, because
right.
sometimes people only see me once a month. And so, are you running into that with your business right now where you're performing all the time? Because I'm watching you from a distance and you're ramping into it. Do you feel like you're executing and performing all the time? And then that's just not the norm, the social norm that you and Lori started out on. So, what have been some of the growth spurts? And I hate for you to talk for Lori without her here, but this is really what helps people right here is we faced this obstacle and we overcame it.
You know what's interesting is that a lot of people, and I don't know where they get the real estate bug from, but I know the commonality is those who have a foundation. Maybe they used to look at homes when they were little with their parents, or we all have the same story, right? The ones that are very successful, they all have the same story. Some form or fashion, real estate was incorporated into their space. For
DNA.
me, particularly, my mom used to take me in a model home when I was a little kid. And on the weekends, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. And it was a very dangerous place. And my mom did everything she could to keep me out of trouble, even though I did get into trouble because I'm not human. But she did everything she could to try to keep me away from the weekends and trying to get into trouble after school. So she would walk me around model homes, but she would also take me to Skid Row. So I would see the beautiful homes that we could never buy that were all decorated, and I knew she didn't have any money for it, but it was exciting to walk through that threshold, and then she would take me to Skid Row so I can see how the other side lives, and so what that did was planted a seed in me again, and it gave me that bug, and I always had an interest in wanting to see, like, interior design, but I never knew I would get into sales, and so for the agents who are coming on board, yeah, you have to have that thing. Real estate is not for everybody. There are gonna be some people who come into the space and it's just not for them. They just can't get it. But
For
what
the
I
wrong
always
reasons. They're here
for
for the
all the
money.
wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yes. And I always tell people if you're driven by money, this is not the place. There's no sales job for you if you're driven by money. Yeah, you can make a lot of money, but the money's not gonna fall on you. Okay. So you have to go and get it. You have to go and put the work in. So when I hire people for the team and I go through the conversation and we're talking and they may be interviewing me, maybe I'm interviewing them. And I always say, listen, you are an independent agent. Okay. You're coming on this team. You went and got this license. You took this test and you're paying your MLS dues, and they're due every quarter, whether you like it or not. So if you don't sell anything, you're not making a return on your investment. So it's important for you to take this seriously. I can't drag you. I've tried that method. It does not work as a
Mhm.
leader. It's exhausting for me. You're not my backpack. I can't carry you around everywhere I go. You want to shadow me? That's fine. I love the enthusiasm. But at the end of the day, you got to wake up and get it on your own.
Absolutely. This is 24 hours, 7 days a week. It really is a lifestyle. Real estate is. It's hard to compartmentalize it until you get really good, and then you understand there's no balance. There's only zig and zag. If you guys kind
Yep.
of know what I'm talking about with that, and then I've just got good at that over the years. Run hard, then take time off. Run hard, take time off, but it gives me time to you reflect and look deep and the inner tools that I need to develop for that leadership piece. So I'm at what 2,500 agents, and with the shift and everything, and I reinvested back in my businesses. I ran it broke, and it's like I'm crazy. I should have started a year earlier or right now, basically like a year later. But at the end of the day, we can't cry about spilled milk. But what is going to
That's right.
get me through any of this, just like all of us, is that leadership showing up every day. And you're absolutely right. There's two types of agents. There's a proactive agent and the reactive agent. There's a hunter and then the order taker, right? And all
Yeah.
the order takers, they're not going to make it. And when I met you, you guys in that prospecting environment, that we all believe in. And then you don't prospect like that anymore, because once you get that book of business built up, then you get like the program set up, or things that can tap root in a more predictable, cheaper manner, the better off it's going to be. And so when you lay those expectations out there like that, and you're generating leads, you're investing money in these people, are you having to cut them into the network or unplug them from that P&L, or do you have any type of metrics or standards or anything that you have to meet month in and month out to be on that
Yeah.
additional team?
So they typically cut themselves because I don't want to cut anybody because I'm not the master. I'm not the God of you. So you end up cutting yourself eventually because when you don't make any money at this point, you see all the train is moving and it's leaving you. And so if
Well,
you don't do
well,
something about it, then that's really on you.
yeah, I love that you said that, because a lot of people, that's really what the terminology of coach you up or coach you out. But if you have an environment where there's peer to peer accountability, then the saggity, the mediocrity, or the water cooler talk, it ends up like sticking out like a green thumb.
That's
And
right.
so I think that's the culture that you guys had talked about. And so did you have to make some examples out of people early on before people knew how to self-select their self out? Or it's, I know you don't fire people, but you're free to go do whatever you want. You're free to go create the environment that you would like now and invest in it. Did you have some early goers that tested your guys' culture early on in this build?
Oh, yeah. You get people that want to test you all the time, but I think the numbers speak for itself. So you can't test me because I'll show you. Because in my group, you can't tell who the leader is because we all operate like soldiers. So if,
Yeah.
if the leader's out there putting in the work, then I know you really to put in some work. So essentially, yeah, you get people that try to test you and stuff like that. But
Yeah, you really got that Midwest work ethic. I know you're from LA or whatever. I don't mean to dog their work ethic, but I work with them out there. I have partners out there. Shout out to all my California people, but we just work a little harder in the Midwest. It's called a Midwest blue collar work ethic. And you
yeah,
gotta have that, Benaisha. But as the numbers and the scoreboards running up though, you're like not slowing down like most people will catch their breath. I'm watching you accelerate this thing. And so it's like that team behind the bank, the team behind you and Lori's business, the team behind your modern team. It's like you really have an army of a bunch of people running your machine right now, would you
yeah,
say? Or
of course. Yeah, the thing about it too is I've gotten to the point where I've built up enough to where I really can sleep in all day, but I don't want to. It's a
right.
passion. I love helping people. I love getting people to the finish line. I enjoy putting a house on the market. I actually like inputting listings. Like I enjoy this stuff. It's very strange. Yeah, I can hire a VA, but I don't want to. I have assistants that work for me, but sometimes I want to go pick up my
Mhm.
own signs. I enjoy this stuff. So I move the way that a person would move if they're actually enjoying what they do.
Mhm.
And when you don't enjoy what you
Well,
do, it speaks volumes. It shows all over you.
yeah, without a doubt. But here's how your life is looking right now. So you roll into executive meeting to executive meeting to a C meeting to a B meeting to another executive meeting. Now, what you're faced with is time management on your creation side, because that's what people are responding so well to is your creation part of it. And
Mhm.
that's what they love about it. And you're in this, I don't want to say launching space because you've already blasted off, but you know what I'm saying. You feel it,
Yeah.
right? It's man, it's like me even getting you today is like getting the president on, just like all of you guys, right? We're all super busy. And so thank you for taking that time. But it's, do you find yourself having to create that extra space to be creative or to step into your greatness, or are you getting bogged down by Benaisha needs to hear this and make decisions type of stuff right now, or be a vote?
Mhm. Like in the last year, I've dedicated more time to myself. So it's almost like grind until you don't have to do the work anymore, till your name enters rooms that you haven't entered in. And I've done that, but it takes time, right? So it takes so much energy. It takes so much time to answer the phone, show up, push, meeting after meeting, helping this, helping that. And eventually you can step away from it and it's a well-oiled machine. And that's where we are right now today. And I'm blessed and very grateful. But I do still like to tap in because it's important if you're running a business to make sure that the business is operating the way that you want it to. You don't want to get all the way on the other side of it. And then you realize something happened and then you weren't a part of it because you're waiting for other people to report back to you. So I still like to tap in, but I put my feet in the water for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I know, and I know, and I love that's what people are responding so well for too. But eventually, your business will demand a different Benicia, and you're seeing it. I'm seeing it. It's like the way that I've had to work inside, even just this one vertical, and creating other traditional teams that I own inside of the network and other things that came my way, opportunities. But it's like I've had to work differently inside of the network, and it's changed every year for you guys as well. Now, when you and lawyer making these decision making like when you guys did your process to make a decision, I shall say, it's do you guys just lay it out there and you guys commit, or and no, don't look back on it, or help me understand your guys' decision making process on which way you guys should go, because right now you have a lot going on, and so how do you guys you two make decisions toward?
Yeah. So we have a very good collaborative relationship where sometimes Lori's no, we should do it like this. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. You have to be open, especially when you're in a partnership. On the banking side, I make my own rules. I don't have a partner and I love it. I like it like that because I can float any way I want to. When you have a partner, you have to respect that person. You have to value their opinion. And yeah, you have to collaborate them. Not one person ever makes any decision between her and I. It has never been like that and it never will. We respect each other's judgment and she has her strong points and I have mine. And so because of that, we're able to feed off of each other too, because she trains the team every week. She runs the training. So I know that she came from a training background. She's very strong in that. And I'm all over the place. So it's like we
Mhm.
balance each other out.
Yeah. Okay. So I like it. So you guys make decisions and then you just keep plowing forward regardless if someone has a change of feelings down the road or whatever. Disagree and commit, and it's some will, some won't if we're on either side of the line, then right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And
You
we
guys
also
still
consider the team members as well when we're making decisions. What is best for not just for the company, but for the whole team as a whole. All the partners that we have involved in our group, we respect their opinions as well. And sometimes we ask them on certain things, but for the most part, the two heads, we typically come up with everything that we're gonna do.
no, yeah, I love that you have to be able to get weigh in to get buy-in, at least from
Yeah.
your top 20% that doing 80% of the work. Prato's principle, they always have played out with these sales teams, how I've ran them. And so good job with that, giving them like that voice. And then it's like they're more apt to be that much more committed to hitting the goal, being a part of it, so they can envision themselves in that growth and then they can see the opportunities. And so I like that. And
That's
plus,
right.
it just goes in alignment with what we do at EXP. We're the most agent centric company on the planet. So it's like Glenn, I see him over and over make decisions and tough meetings, like always. And he takes arrows after arrows, but he always decides on the side of the agent. And he owns the majority of this company. So it's beautiful to see that, man. And he's not just chasing the money. And so I love it. We're maybe got a few more minutes here. So it's crazy how you got into the banking deal. I love how you guys started building houses. You didn't even know you're an investor with 20 units. The leadership piece, man, it's like you're just a strong quality person. And that's what people were looking for, right? But- and the guy that I had on a couple weeks ago, Bill, he's everybody said, I'm killing the numbers, I'm rocking the numbers. And he's I've been doing this a long time. And he's like, Adam, I know you grow and you grow through it. And he's all the terminology you guys say or have or whatever. I just quantify it to I'm just doing that in life, right? And then it translates into real estate because
Yeah.
most of my coaching, most of my things that I had to get people to refocus on and have a radical focus was always about some head trash or limiting beliefs or mindsets or slumps or things happen in our life. I've went through a lot of personal shit the last couple of years. I'm very transparent with my life and financials and things to attract partners, right? And so the same wind blows on us all. It's just the set of the sail that determines our destination. I love that Jim Rohn quote. It's so true. And it's like how we respond to tough situations, really like you building your traditional and your modern team right then and there, whether you know it or not, because people need to see people taking action. People need to see people getting punched in the face and trying to
Mhm.
figure new stuff out. The world is changing right in front of us. But to have the type of partnership that you guys have built and to take the punches and to do it all from scratch as fast as you guys have, the women in this network give the men a run for their money without
Mhm.
a doubt. And you also had that commercial piece that you were building on. We've touched the traditional team, the modern network, the banking piece, but the commercial piece, when I last saw you in Dallas, how is that going? You was adding that into your arsenal as well, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The commercial's going amazing. Right now, I think I have one property that I'm listing for a friend. It's 3.5 million and right in Dallas, commercial property. Commercial is a great space if you can understand the way that it works. If you're not pressed about being paid immediately, it doesn't close in 30 days like on the residential side. So you have
Yeah, it is a longer cash conversion cycle. Do you think there's going to be a bloodbath with commercial? The appraisals are and the gap's so big and everything that's happening. Do you see that it's going to be a bloodbath this year with commercial?
yeah, I wouldn't call it a bloodbath. It will definitely be some adjustments
Well,
similar to what we
you're the
went through.
lender, right? You're the lender,
Yeah.
so we're not going to call this a bloodbath because we're going to lend on it.
And that's right. Exactly, because I equally do just as much commercial as I do residential. And so
I didn't know that. I knew you guys were getting going. I saw that video that was sent to me that night we were in Dallas, and your partner you introduced me to. What was his name again?
on which side? Commercial?
Yeah, the commercials. He came to dinner that night with us,
Oh,
and
yeah. He's not my partner, but, he's one of my good friends. So I don't have any
oh,
business.
no, your partner, you're the one who sponsored him, right? To get the commercial stuff going. Did you sponsor him?
Oh, you're talking about the agent. Yeah,
Commercial
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I figured the other guy was your friend just in the game, but no, it wasn't running with us. What I got? Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. He came over to EXP, but he ended up leaving. He started his own brokerage.
Oh, see, you're running people off now. What happened to those retention?
You
But
know what? He ended up getting signed up under someone, so we're gonna be transparent. When you come to
mm,
EX and commit to someone, you are stuck with that person. And if you don't like that person, just make sure you commit yourself under the right person because you'll be
yeah,
paying that person for the rest of your career with
it
EXP.
really take the whole partnership package, the 7 levels of partnership tiers that people get. Take that whole package into account.
Yeah,
It's like I'm in business with number one, number two, number three, number
that's right.
four. I think Willems is 18 right now. Global team builder, and I was up around 29th space, but I slipped like to I don't know high 50s or something. But we're generating traditional stuff, rebuilding transaction management stuff in Wichita, doing the same in Toronto, and it's and coaching and saving all my other partners stuff. So it's been fun, but it's been challenging again. It's woke me up, and I miss this. It like reminds me of, I know I've been at this a little longer, but it's 2010, 11, 12. You came in right after that when it started to bounce back up, but it was a complete dogfight during them years. And I'm sure you've heard a
Yeah.
lot of stories about it. And people like you and Lori, you guys aren't going to have anything to worry about because you guys will eat up market share from the hobbyists and the part-time people. And so I just want to say I appreciate you and Lori. The one thing that I did want to ask with the leads when you're generating for the lending company or the lending company generating leads or whatever you're doing to be RESPA approved, let's just get that out there, compliant. It's are you generating a lot of internet leads? What's the number one source of all of your business with the top three? And I know
Okay.
you're controlling it with both sides of the aisle. Everybody's gonna want to know where's all these millions and billions coming from?
Yeah. So what's interesting is that when I first started in the business, I Zillow came to me on the real estate side.
Mm,
And they came to me and gave me a small zip code in Fort Worth, but it was right outside of the Dallas Fort Worth airport. So the DFW airport. So a lot of those people who lived around there were flight attendants, pilots, etc. So I actually ended up winning because I was able to serve a large community of people who were actually moving and buying homes. So it helped. And after 6 months, they said, here's a free trial, which they typically never do, from what I heard. And I ended up buying into it. So I ended up being in partnership with Zillow for some years. I got to the point where I was paying about $35 to $4,000 a month for leads for myself. And so I ended up opening it up for the team. So whoever wanted leads on the team, they can get it. And after holding it for a year and people being not consistent with they want the leads and then do it for a month and then they don't want it anymore. So it's like you have to be consistent if you want to turn profit. Leads don't happen overnight. So the people who buy into those systems, you have to buy it and just put the money to the side. If you can't afford it, don't buy it because you really want to allow yourself time to be able to source some of those leads and get some traction. So I did that for some years, probably about maybe till 2019. I was
mhm.
buying leads. And then all of a sudden one day I said, you know what? I'm not buying any leads anymore. I'm just not going to do it. So I got out of Zillow around COVID. And then from that point, when I started the bank, the 100% sourcing for the bank is all referral. Now the business on real estate is all referrals. So anyone who I do business with is just based on my hard work. My
Yeah, so
bank
you got
is
that
100.
foundation. So you got the foundation built. You were smart for locking up the flight attendants and like that whole radius right there. Cause then there was that huge migration from California, Oregon. eh, They went to Dallas, like Texas. They've been booming the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You having those relationships in place and then a system to be able to accept those were amazing. And then obviously you're meeting other business owners that are relocating to the area and it's just opening up a whole nother world of commercial and different things that's just spawned into what it what it what it needed to be, which is great. Now, on the banking side of things, you're operating in all 50 states. How can somebody want to do a deal with you? How can maybe they get involved on a JV deal? I don't know if that's possible or what's it look like working with you if you're like in top agent experts, somebody, and we'll just say Alabama on Clarence markets. Like I'm using Clarence because I think you might know him, but he's been around since beginning too. But they were like, man, I want to work with her or see what she can deliver on. What's that look like? Maybe just or how can they get a hold of you on the banking side?
Of course. So I have over 1,000 loan programs in house. So I'm not a broker. I'm not a correspondent. People think they try to dumb me down a little bit, but I'm going to make sure I'm correcting people. I am the sole owner of a federally chartered bank. So our programs are national programs. I have down payment assistance. I have DSCR. I have foreign national programs. I have the standard FHA conventional VA stuff. I do USDA loans. I can do multifamily units up to 400 units in house. If you want to build a new development, if you want to do a rent to build community, all that stuff is in house. So if you are looking
400 units
for,
in house. That's crazy.
yes, so the typical is 1 to 4, and anything after 4 is considered commercial. All that stuff's in house in every single state that exists, right? So At the end of the day, if you guys want to do business with someone who has eliminated all the red tape on the commercial side, we close in basically 20 days. The only thing you need is an appraisal. And your down payment is typically 20 to 25% on any commercial deal. And it doesn't matter if you're buying a commercial building or doing a rehab, fix and flip. You got a lot of people out there doing the burn method. You got a lot of wholesalers. Stop wholesaling and buy some of these properties, guys. You guys can qualify for this stuff. As long as you have an LLC and you have your down payment on the commercial side, it's very easy. On the residential side, second mortgages, refinance, and everything you can think of. But you can find me on my website. It is prime1homeloans.com. It's actually my background here on my picture. So you can go to prime1homeloans.com, or you can go to my commercial side, which is prime1lending.com. It will take you to the same website. There is a phone number on there, and you can reach out to that number, and one of the representatives who answers the phone should help you, and they can identify what your needs are and get you to the right place. If you want to do business with me, it is every single state, including Alaska and Hawaii. There is nothing that I cannot do and nothing that I don't want to do. And it's just a safe space for us to be able to get our loans processed. 18 to 23 days on the residential side is my turn time. If you're coming from another bank, maybe you have a client that's already been approved, they started the process. Generally, it's about 10 days for a FHA loan. It could be sooner. So that's really empowering. It's really good. I'm also hiring. If you know anyone that's a loan officer that has experience, I am hiring. We are extremely busy. We've been busy since we started, even when the market was crazy. Interest rates were 9 and 10%. We were extremely busy. And the reason why is because I created my margins. I don't know if you guys know this, and you probably don't, because nobody gets a chance to talk to bank owners. And they don't come into the communities. They're not on Zoom calls. You don't hear the president of Bank of America having any conversations with the public. And I'm here to be different. I'm here to show that we do exist. There are people who care about the people that they're serving and the communities that they're serving. And banks are able to create their own margin. Okay. So whatever you're getting, that's why when you go to different banks, guys, they have different rules, they have different overlays, they have different numbers, they have different interest rates. Because in the morning or whenever they set their company up, they have created their own margins to fit their own standards so that way they can make money from the top down. It's not the loan officers that are making money, even though they're doing all the work. And so I am always hiring. I am always looking for loan officers. I'm always looking for people that I can give their own branch to. So what does that mean? That means that you can use my line of credit, you can use my underwriters, my processors, and you can start your own company if you're coming from a position as a loan officer where you have a book of business and you're turning profit. You're making money. So with that being said, that's how you can reach me. I'm also on Instagram actively at my first name, Benaisha. So it's I am Benaisha. You can find me on IG. I am a verified page. So if you see somebody else that's not verified, it's not me. I have a lot of clones. I do have a television show on Fox, guys. So you can find me on Fox. I have a financial literacy segment that I do on the network Fox and also Fox Soul, where I'm talking about the same thing that we're talking about today, real estate, all things real estate and financial dignity, financial literacy. I also have a special on Revolt that they're doing. They only selected myself and Michelle Obama, and they have done a up to 30-minute segment on me, my life story, everything. So check that out, as well as my podcast on the Wealth Chat. It is called the Wealth Chat on YouTube. If you guys are listening to me, go follow it, subscribe. We interview people on business, banking, and real estate. And we're talking about the same thing we're talking about today, but more in depth. We're talking about everything under the sun when it comes to people, what they need to do, how they got to where they are, and how the places that they're going. So it's important to share information. It's important to collaborate. The powers in the numbers, and the more we join forces, the better we will be. No person knows everything, and I don't know everything, but I know that I have the ability to empower, inspire, and motivate. And that's why I love, love, love what I do as a having this team, because I'm able to transform people's lives. I've already done what I need to do. It's a matter of helping other people get to where they need to. And I think that's where the blessings come from.
Yeah, you just rocked it right there. That's amazing. When you look at it's, I just know like how fast all of this happened, and it's just like you're a good person. You get up and execute, hard work, really does pay off. And the American dream is still alive and well. It really is. And to see a Black female woman doing it, and also I got to see you start out on a team and just blast off, and people talk a lot like about what they're going to go do or whatever. And you guys mumbled what you guys were going to do, and you didn't ask for too much along the way. And so it's just being resourcefulness and taking advantage of those resources. And so hopefully you guys take Benaisha up on her resources and or the offer if you're one to create some additional cash flow as well. And it sounds like there's some flexibility there to be had if you're serious. I do want to ask you here, and I'll let you leave with the final thoughts. And I don't know how you top what you just did. You said right there for like 5 minutes. I don't know. Like that will end up being a reel for you. And I'll send you the raw footage of this, but you've said some very empowering things that you can tell that are just super authentic and genuine and real. And it is your mission because it is your vision and your core principles that, its core, you can just hear it. But it's like with all these agents you have coming in the network and things like that, are you teaching them how to build that foundation and then tap root through it, not on the building side, but tap rooting through buyers and sellers? And the way Lori is teaching these people, do you have a lot of prospectors? Do you kick your SOI business out into the group, or do you have an A team for that? Because I'm sure get double booked, or you get to pick through your good clients, if you will, and then they're still gonna get the fabulous service that your team has. And how much of that business do you kick back into the group? And let's say I'm gonna join your team today. You're not generating leads. I want the brand, I want the leadership, I want the environment. What are you gonna tell me to do to generate some business, Benaisha? And then put a recap on it, and I'll let you bring it home because I want to be respectful. We got a few minutes, start a few minutes late, but we're right at the top of the hour. And I wish we had another hour, but it's like you even said, go check her podcast out. And the other links that she mentioned, they go deeper on top topic subject and dig into it. But I asked a lot there for you to wrap it up with, but it's like, where the eyeballs at right now, your Instagram, I can't even pay to get the reach and the engagement that you have. And you do it all organically. I know, where your eyeballs are at, but where are you telling Adam Bailey to go generate some business right now?
Yeah, so I started on Facebook. I created a business page. I got about 6,000 followers on business page. I crossed over to Instagram. I had about 600 followers there. And organically, I posted every single day, 3 times a day, every single day, 3 times a day to build what I have now. So it takes work. I do give my team members leads. I can't go out every single day. I'm at home working and somebody may need to see a house. I'll put in the group text, hey, anybody in Tampa. I send people leads all the time. Orlando, New York, Atlanta, LA, Dallas, Houston, who can help, whether they're rentals or buyers. At this point, I want you guys to eat. I want my team members to eat. They do have to go and catch their own fish. But when an opportunity comes, when it could be a client that's a $1.4 billion listing and I need somebody to go do an open house, they go do that open house and all the leads are there. So to come into a system where it's already built with the respect that we have in the streets in reference to this team and what I have done to help this company as the face of the Bailey Watson Real Estate Group, and just getting the people to understand that we are a real team and that we're producing and we speak what we do, then I think that level of respect it already comes along with it. So when people join the team, they basically come into a self-made system. Now you can say you're a top 1%, or you can say that you're in the top 100 on the team because I'm in the top 100 for real estate agents in the United States. So you speak that. You have
Right.
leverage with it. I remember when I first came into real estate, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do, just like everyone else. And I thought, okay, if I sound with the name of this company, the company's going to speak for itself. And it does because it's a brand. But when you sell real estate and you get a chance to get a footing in this business, you learn that you are the brand. People buy
Right.
you
Right.
before they buy anything that you say. So if you're a walking brand, you should act like it, respect yourself, hold yourself to a higher standard. And people will gravitate towards you, your own tribe, whether you're tatted from head to toe, whether you are a soccer mom, whether you pick up cans on the side of the road. You have a tribe. There's other people who like to run just like you, or there's the exercise groups. You have your cigar groups. I always tell my agents, tap into your sphere, your network, the people who that you are close to. Those may not be the people that are buying, but those people know people. So it's not about who you know, it's who they know. It's about getting out there and meeting as many people as you can. 92% of your clients are people you do not know. That's a large number, 92%. So you got a lot of door knocking to do. This never ends. So if you want to be a top agent expert, if you want to be someone who's going to get the bag in this business, if you want to be someone who's going to be very successful, you have to operate like that. You have to put people in position who are successful. You have to, even on my banking side, I can't have the best success if I don't have a good team. I have to hire the best attorneys. I have to hire the best management. I have to hire the best branch managers. I have to hire the best loan officers. The same way when it comes to operating a real estate team. I may not, me personally, I hire everybody. I don't just exclude any groups. I say, if you're brand new and you just got a license, come on, I'll teach you. If you have been in the business for a long time, if you've hit a rough patch, come on over to the team. Nobody is better than anybody. So, you just want to surround yourself with people who are like minded. Get a mentor. Make sure that you have someone that you can talk to and ask questions to. You're not an island. And a lot of times when people come to EXP, the reason why they don't have success is because they are an island. They don't realize that there are other people who can help them. They just don't say anything. They don't know. And then they come back and they see the company thriving. They're like, when I came to EXP, I didn't know who to talk to. That's because you maybe didn't talk to the right person. I don't know, but you have to engage with like-minded people. And so the team definitely gets leads. They definitely have a structure where they are groomed for success. They are taught to go out there and kill what they eat. Otherwise, they're not going to eat. And after a couple of payments of those dues, they realize, oh, shoot, yeah, I need to go out there and get it. Just having a mentor that pours into you is important because a lot of times we work for companies and I've learned this throughout my career. People have conversations with me and they're like, I learned more from you in 5 minutes than I've learned from the person I've been giving 60% of my commission to for the last 3 years. So just make sure that you are tapping in with resources, the Adam Baileys, the top agent experts, the Facebook groups. If you're a part of these networks, get engaged. The money's not going to come to you. The people are not going to come and just not tap on your shoulder and say, did you learn anything today? Are you okay? You got to get out there and go get it. It has to be in you. It can't just be on you. Even though I think that entrepreneurship can be, you can make it in entrepreneurship, even if you weren't an entrepreneur. I'm a living proof of that. But you have to have something in you that creates some form of a self-motivated drive. And once you get a lead, even if someone gives it to you, you have to know what to do with it. You have to stay consistent. You have to know how to approach a client when they say, not right now. That doesn't mean no. Not right now is not a no. Everybody has a price. They may be a $25,000 price. They may be a $25 million price. That's for you to identify. So it takes
Yeah,
time.
I love that I used to say that all the time. Like, and I was glad that you said that, and I'm glad you reframed the conversation and checked me on it because that's not like where I wanted you to start your story. But I was just interested in average sales price. Don't count the volume, count the units, and the volume always comes, always follows. And that's what you were saying. It's like I'm going to treat them not like a lead or a $60,000 talking head type of avatar, but they're a human being. And it's like they should have the same dignity and respect and the same level of service somebody buying $1 million house
Yeah.
has. And that's what I heard you say.
I always roll out the red carpet for every person that I meet. I don't care if you're renting an apartment on Section 8. It does not matter. You are respected, you are valued, and renters turn into buyers.
Yeah. It's there's people out there killing it off those lead sources that are just those type of leads, right? Taking them and flipping them. And so it goes back to what you were talking about a minute ago is follow up, but it's like you have to understand their love language, the psychology of how the lead came in, the triangulation of a relationship, or the messaging that they responded back to for why they are going to, nobody wants to be followed up with, but it's like, what's the next logical step for me to get what I need in the time frame, which could be up to 18 months, right? And building
Mhm.
that relationship. So it sounds like Lori's training a lot of the outbound stuff Hell, you even mentioned knocking on doors. So you're really like telling Adam, you just got to get out here and get it. We're going to kick you some bones. You're going to work within this brand. You're going to meet this standard, and we're going to operate from these principles, and you're going to make a lot of money and shut up and have fun doing it, right? And, and even being a white guy from Kansas, I can do this. I got this, right? And I love it. And so it's like you're giving them some flexibility. You're not carrying a lot of costs with the lead gen stuff. But I gotta ask then, it's with the team stuff on the operation side, do I get some transactional support, some listing coordination support?
Oh,
What do,
yeah.
what do I get from
Absolutely.
this
Oh
support?
my God. Training is extensive. It is from A to B. You get your contract writing, you have your networking, your social media conversations, how to generate leads through your KB core. So many different avenues on how to be successful. Once you have the tools, though, you still have to do the work. And I think that's where the disconnect comes because we've set people up with all kind of stuff and they still, I called someone and I'm like, hey, you got your laptop with you? And they're driving across town 45 minutes away from home and they don't have their laptop. So it's, did you learn anything after we spent 48 days talking about all the stuff you need to do? It still has to be in you. But yes, we do offer so many different resources in so many different ways, whether it is just talking about how to door knock during your blitz, that you should go out there a couple days before you do your open house, get to know the neighborhood, talk to the neighbors. You never know who knows who. So all kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a plethora of
And
successful tools.
yeah, I'm thinking, man, if I'm a canvasser, I was thinking about this the other day. It's just why wouldn't, I have some recon door knockers just going out there and doing light surveys of the property to send in a professional off some coined phrase or meeting and to make it something new tied into the neighborhood watch update or a fair equity report or it's like something different, right? And so that door knocking, and I think that as things, and I'm not saying things, units get thinned out. There's 1.6 million agents. We're going to have around a million with the same amount of deals, around a million agents, up with 600,000 more agents. So it's going to get super competitive. And if you could go and door knock, but duplicate yourself with appointment setters that are door knocking, that's where my mind goes, right? Like, it's like, why have an ISA if you could pay an ISA X amount of money? Why wouldn't you just allocate that to a door knocker then? Because that is your ISA, except on wheels, right?
Yep.
And they're setting appointments as well. And so figuring out your predictability with how many listing appointments you can set, how many, you're gonna get signed versus what actually sell, so on and so forth. And then hiring some light help like that. But on the support side, when I turn my contract in and all that stuff, you guys take that over. You're controlling the contract to close in, it sounds like.
Yeah, we do. We typically, and we do have our transaction coordinators that are assigned to the team. They specifically work with us. And so we do have most people, they handle their own paperwork, but we do have access to ISAs and assistants who are happy to do the work for you while you go out there and gain more clientele in the streets. So you're not worried about paperwork and et cetera.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's interesting. You and I've been around long enough. This leads me to another question, and you can quit answering them at any given time and say, Adam, I'm gotta go. But what so is it a percentage based if it's a lead, not lead, or if I do use these services or not? Or are you doing a flat fee with the Bailey Watson group?
No. So if I give you a lead, it's yours. Close it. I don't need the money.
No, I
If I
know,
give you a lead, go and work it.
but they're splitting back still with a team though, the Bailey Watson group.
My team doesn't take any additional splits. So it's 80/20 EXP. I don't take any splits for the team.
Oh,
That's not
I
it's
didn't know that.
never had a fee, never taking splits. We're just here to empower, encourage, and support the needs of the agent so that one day when they sit in the position I'm in, they'll pay it forward. And maybe they'll structure their company the same way. Maybe they won't. But
That
never
leads me to an interesting question then. It's like everybody's on a full cap then, right?
everybody's on their own individual caps. And yeah, they're on a full cap. We can change it, but no, we didn't. Because if we change it, then we have to incorporate a team cap. And that's not the
Right.
structure that we wanted. That wasn't a model that we wanted to fit because so many agents are surviving off of that one deal. Just imagine if you close one deal per year, which then might be your average. Everybody's not a rock star, right? So it's they've given up half of the grandma's the money that they sold their grandma's house. And I didn't know your grandma, just go eat. Like for me, it's not about money. It's about empowering and helping and encouraging and motivating and being a safe place as a
Yeah.
mentor, as a leader for that person to they don't have to worry about money.
Yeah, like I love it. And we can say money don't buy happiness and money don't matter, but Zig Ziglar said it best. It's kind of up there with oxygen. We need it to keep burning.
Well,
And
here's the
so,
deal. When you bring someone in an EXP, you're gonna make your money regardless. So the head's
right.
already and I'm exposing a little bit, but the head's already paying you. And so if you're making money off the head, I don't need to make money off the tail. That's just me personally. But yeah, I mean, I could make a 20% split and eat everything and then my turnover may be higher because maybe somebody may feel
Yeah. 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 No wonder your turnover. Okay. So then you're taking the ancillary service, the machine over here, and then it's able to reinvest in other staff and kind of over supplement, if you will,
yeah,
for this noble cause to bring more value in addition to what EXP brings, but at the same cost.
that's right.
Why wouldn't anyone want to sign up with you guys?
That's right. That's what I'm saying. We're one of the hottest teams out there because we're a hidden secret. We don't charge. We give the game. We can show success. The numbers speak for itself, and we're here.
Benaisha, I love you, man. And like, I got so much respect for you. I'm not saying I didn't have respect then as our relationships grew and I get to watch you guys do your thing and I check on you every now and then. And it's been a little bit since I've seen you guys in person in Dallas and we've all went through hell with our businesses, but that's really what separates the good from the great is how we respond to it. And you guys are responding immaculately, regardless of how you guys are dealing with it at home or whatever. It takes an amount of guts and risk and grit and just work ethic and just the hours committed, at least here in the Midwest. But sorry, California people, I'm messing with you. My partners out there, they're going to be giving me crap about blue collar stuff all day long. And so it's, I just want to say, I'm like so blessed to have people like you guys on our network. I'm thankful Tierney introduced me to you guys. Any way that I could help you guys, for sure, let me know. But Benaisha, one more time, how can people get a hold of you and Lori, man? And let's close this out. It's 15 after. I know we got started off late, but it's like I could almost bring you back for a part two and slow some of this stuff down, really, because
Yeah.
it's like a ball of fire with a lot going on, and maybe even bring Lori on the next one with you, like part two. Or I can just rap with Sam too. But anyways, you know how. And once again, how can people find your Instagram and then close this out here?
Anytime, guys, you guys can find me on Instagram. I am Benaisha, my first name. I'm very active on social media. You can also follow the Wealth Chat on YouTube, and that is going to give some very phenomenal information. I have a co-host on there. Her name is Jewel Tankard. Jewel had a television show on Bravo for many seasons. So if you look at that page, you may recognize her. And you can also visit prime1homeloan.com, which is at the top of this header up here. And that will take you directly to the bank. And it has some of the most common programs on there that we offer. I can't put 1,000 programs on there. It will be a book. So the website is not designed for that, but you can find some of the most common programs that are used. We close within 18 to 23 days. We are a direct lending bank. We are non-depository. So as of right now, there are no checking and savings, but at the end of this year, going into 2024, I will be launching as FDIC insured depository. So I will be the 43rd Black owned bank in the United States of America, the sole owner, and I will accept checking, savings, merchant services, which are credit cards. Of course,
That's
I have
crazy.
yeah, and so you're watching something that is a phenomenal. I am me, myself. I'm just a very humble person, but when I speak these things, I blow myself away because I didn't expect God to lead me here when he spoke to me and said, get a real estate license. I had no idea how much of a servant that I would not just be for my father, but for the community and the culture. I also do have a scholarship in high schools across the United States where I give back. I send 2 high school students to real estate school every single year. I've already selected the first 2 students in 2023, and they will be joining the real estate community and culture soon. They were 2 high school boys that I selected this year from DeSoto High School, but my scholarship is in high schools across the United States. So I give back as well as philanthropist. So God is good. And when you're put in position to bless others, that's why it was important for me to just be able to serve. And I wasn't looking to take money off of splits and I wasn't looking to do this and that. I just wanted to give back. And God has blessed me and given me back 100 times more. And I just hope that I'm able to help even more people. I hope that someone heard this message today and didn't just click off of it. I hope someone stayed committed and listened. And maybe they'll get some value on how they should start their company or how they should elevate as a realtor or how they should change some of their structures or add pieces, or maybe they want to do business with the bank and I'm here. So I just hope that I was able to resonate with someone, and I'm definitely open for a part two, Adam, anytime.
Yeah. Part two for the 2% top agent Mastermind Monday series. Give it to Benaisha. She had to make her own sign and everything, 1%. She's like,
This is actually from a magazine that I was in.
oh, okay. All right. It was from a magazine. So other people have asked me where the 2% name come from, and they're like, okay, that's good. But nobody's asked me to change it, but Benaisha, I love it. But I would be the same way though, because looking at it, I knew exactly where you were thinking. That's why I didn't mean to hit you back quick with LOL when you were so serious, but I knew where your mind was at. So I appreciate
I'm
you.
like, that comes from having a team of publicists and managers. And once you start getting on TV, they're like, wait a minute, what's that? So,
Right. The top
pretty much.
2% in here. And so you are top agent experts. And so being able to have a platform like this, nobody would have heard this story. And that's crazy to be the 43rd African American female owning a bank. And so is that would be ever, or is that just would be active at the time?
It's
It-
like being the 43rd president. They can never
okay.
change it. There's
Yeah, that's
45, 46, 47.
yeah. And just to see you like everything the climb that you've had to go through and all the traveling and late nights and everything, and see hard work pay off and the American dream is still alive and well. And I appreciate the 300 people you have with us. And those are a solid 300. The relationships are there, the production's
Yeah.
there, all of the stuff is there because the leadership is there, the conviction's there, the vision is there. But more importantly, Benaisha understands her why. And it's once you understand that, then the what and the how and the who, that just follows. And she figured that out along the ways. And I don't, I'm like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but and I'm not that I don't know anything too much about Black history. I grew up in the Mexican hood as a white guy, but um, the isn't today like a Black holiday as well?
It is. Yeah. So today is Juneteenth, guys, and I really am honored to be speaking on Juneteenth, even though it's a holiday and I could be laying in the pool or relaxing. I'm here online because it's important for me to show up and show out as a Black woman speaking on Juneteenth. This is the day. The relevance of the holiday, if you don't know, is that in the state of Texas, which is where I live, they had not, they weren't aware that they were free as slaves. And so they were still enslaved in their mindset and in their work ethic. And they finally realized that they were free in the state of Texas on this day, June 19th, June 19th. So that's why Juneteenth has been celebrated every single year in the state of Texas while we're all living our best lives in our other states. We had no idea that this was a thing. When I got to Texas, I heard about it, didn't know too much about it, but I was able to meet Miss Opal Lee. And Opal Lee is a woman who is at this time, she's 96, but she took it upon herself to advocate for the holiday to be accepted. And she walked 1,400 miles from Texas to Washington, D.C. with her signatures that she accumulated to go to the White House and advocate for this to be a holiday. And it's interesting because at this point, the holiday was made 2021, And so now it is a federal holiday. So banks are closed, people are off, and we're recognized. Juneteenth is recognized as a real holiday. And that's stemming from the fact that slaves were free, but in Texas, they had no idea. And so I was honored to meet Miss Opal Lee, which I will show a picture. Let me see if I can put it up here. Let me see. Probably not.
You probably got
I
to
can't
kill
see.
your you kill your background and then you'll be able to show it.
Yeah, so I'm on my phone, so it's not on that phone, it's on this phone. But
Just
anyways,
so here, go do this. We're streaming in Facebook, even though we'll have a replay edited and I'll get you your raw copy. Just go in and top agent experts on the live feed and just post that picture of in the live
oh,
feed.
cool. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was able to meet her a couple years ago with my daughter, and then I went to a gala where I was a keynote speaker for the Texas Association of Real Estate Brokers just this Friday. And I was speaking there as a keynote speaker, and Miss Opal Lee was there. So we were able to talk, and she actually asked me to do some things for her that's going to actually change the trajectory of both her and I's life. And she's a very amazing human being. And so a grandmother of actually one of the agents with EXP, she's on my team. Her name is Promise Rowland. And Opal is her grandmother, Miss Lee. So it's just an honor to be able to meet a living legend and someone you read in the history books, but you never get a chance to really meet these people. Texas has a lot of phenomenal individuals, and I hope that I go down in history as one of those ones. So that's really what Juneteenth is about. And I don't mind speaking on Juneteenth. It could have been a holiday and everybody could have been asleep. I would have still been on this call because I respect what the mission is.
Yeah, no, I mean that's wonderful. The first I had heard about it was through Tierney, and she went even deeper into the story and some other, I mean, like little battles that were going on and stuff. So it's definitely part of your heritage and history, and it's interesting. And so
Mhm.
for you to embrace that and the mission you're on, man, I love seeing it and love the passion, and more
Absolutely.
importantly, the conviction to support and step up. But that's what's most important is commit and step up, and you're committed. And but more importantly, you do it with a good attitude as well. And that's what people want to
Right.
be around is people that got good energy, people that, when it's raining, they're dancing in the rain while they're still working, not a humbug up under the tree complaining or whatever. And so you just have just that great smile, just a great energy, all of that stuff. And so I just want to say thank you. And then I saw that it was this holiday coming up after I'd already asked you to speak. And I was wondering if you had caught that, or if you were wondering if I planned it. I'm not that smart to be thinking that far ahead, but it was just I was thinking about you, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that you still took it on one of your holidays and came and spoke to us. And but more importantly, you saw it as an obligation, and that's what's more important. Is like you're not getting paid; you're just giving back to the community here that you're a part of. But it's actually it's bigger than that to you, and that's
Yeah.
why you're going to keep getting bigger. Is because it's bigger than just this. That's
That's
what's
right.
awesome, guys. Hit Benaisha up, man. Follow her Instagram. She's fire on there. Look, Bailey Watson Real Estate Group and the lending company, man, is just print money. Hit her up. See how maybe you can get some deals done there. And Benaisha, much love, man. I got so much respect for you and Lori and the team. And I just couldn't be happier to have these type of quality people running in the network that you get to see on the 2% top agent expert mastermind. You guys go do it. Just do it like Benaisha did. Anything is possible. Make it a great day.
Bye.